In our last story, hatchery manager Tom Herron explained the disease testing done on the samples he sends to the fish lab in Eagle, Idaho. But these aren't the only tests performed there. In fact, among our nation's state wildlife agencies, the Eagle Fish Health Lab is recognized as one of the best in the country. It works much like a hospital health lab for humans, only here the patients are fish. Our state's hatchery trout, salmon, steelhead, and wild fish. And just like humans, fish can suffer from various diseases caused by different viruses, bacteria, or parasites.
Okay, these are rainbow trout from one of our hatcheries over in central Idaho. We have a condition where they are potentially carriers of a bacterial disease.
Fisheries pathologist Doug Burton is running a research experiment on these small fish. He euthanizes them with anesthetic and then removes body parts, like the kidneys, to be tested for disease.
We handle somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 cases a year here at the Eagle Lab.
When a hatchery manager calls with a problem, the lab will perform a series of diagnostic tests on the ailing fish. But probably 2/3 of the tests done here are part of routine inspections. For example, the test tube samples sent from the spawning cutthroat at Henry's Lake Hatchery will be tested here for things like BKD or bacterial kidney disease.
It's a nasty little bugger. It takes 4 to 6 weeks at 15 degrees to grow.
Once fish health technologist Sharon Wavra identifies a specific bacteria, she'll run more tests to determine what antibiotics will effectively treat the disease.
Bacteria are funny little critters. They change, they mutate. As soon as you find a drug that successfully will kill this bacteria, he'll mutate, he'll change, and he won't be sensitive to that drug anymore.
In another room, technologist Roberta Scott is running a virology analysis.
This is a plate where we've put a viral sample down, and you can see holes in the meat or in the cell layer, and that's indicative of a virus. We watch it for 14 days on a microscope, and then we go back and do some serological tests to identify that virus.
Just like viruses that attack humans, these must run their course. But once the culprit has been identified, hatcheries can isolate the affected fish and implement special sanitation techniques to stop the spread of the virus.
These particular fish were having some problems swimming up, and they think that there's a fungus mat that's inhibiting them from getting their gulp of air to fill their little air bladders with.
A section taken from the head of one of the affected fish is placed in a tiny container of melted wax.
The wax basically just holds the tissue rigid so that we can cut it with a really sharp knife and get a real thin slice. And then we can make a slide and look at it under the microscope, and you can see a lot of about the health or disease of the fish by looking at the individual tissues under the microscope.
Many of the technologists working in the Eagle Fish Health Lab left careers as human medical technologists to work on fish disease. Here, they discovered they had the opportunity to stretch their skills doing a variety of testing, and in some ways found it much more challenging than the hospital.
Oh, it's just fascinating. It's real interesting. And the fact that we get to move, see, we do all of this. I mean, Bacti, Viro, parasitology, histo. So there's a lot of variety, which is nice.
It's real exciting. I'm thrilled to be a part of Fish and Game, and I love what I do, and I feel that actually it's a compliment to the resource. We're out there, whatever fish we're sending out to the ocean or out and into our habitat are healthy fish, and so in that regard I feel like we're doing a good thing.